I completely agree. People are very focused on the tech. I talk with builders that have like the bug of the technology and they want to make something that looks good on the tech stack, but a lot of users do not care about it. So I feel what is really important is to try to think also new ways to use crypto, like new avenues that are possible now with current technology. So we want to go over the classic DeFi stack, which was the first use case of crypto, of like just financial rates, but now there's so much more that can be done.
So welcome at another How to DAO podcast. Today we have Joe from Sophon, which is a new blockchain built on ZK Sync technology. But the technical part is not important, but the vision is very important for us because How to DAO is trying to onboard more users to be in DAOs or build DAOs, not really deal with the technicality of the blockchain, but like leverage the tools and the benefits of it without necessarily needs to be like having master degree of computer science. And Sophon is kind of doing the same, also want to abstract the blockchain part and really enable users to come into the crypto space in very natural way for them. So Joe, can you tell us a little bit more about what you are building?
Sure. First of all, pleasure to be here. I'm Joe, partner success lead at Sophon. Mostly I'm helping partners come build on Sophon and be part of the Sophon ecosystem and help them thrive in as many ways as possible. So you're absolutely right. I think now we have a crypto ecosystem on one side and like the crypto users that are maybe 20,000 users on Twitter that try all the possible L2s that try to farm airdrops, but they have very specific mindset. And now we want to get to the blue ocean of users that don't know about crypto. Maybe they never need to learn about crypto itself. Like you don't need to learn about the communication protocol that goes behind your sending an email message. And we want to still make them use the power of crypto, which is having a ownership of assets or building your digital identity in a trustless, composable way. I completely agree. People are very focused on the tech. I talk with builders that have like the bug of the technology and they want to make something that looks good on the tech stack, but a lot of users do not care about it. So I feel what is really important is to try to think also new ways to use crypto, like new avenues that are possible now with current technology. So we want to go over the classic DeFi stack, which was the first use case of crypto, of like just financial rails, but now there's so much more that can be done. For us, Sophon can distinguish itself from other chains as on two layers. There's the data layer, or how we can aggregate data from users from different sources. And for us, it's more on the entertainment lifestyle side. So people can, like, maybe they are gamers, they can aggregate their achievements, their success stories from different games, can be on the entertainment, on which events you went to, which musicians or actors you're a fan of, just building what is interesting about you, what is part of your identity on chain, or like just build it in a verifiable way. And this is the ZKT-less web proof part that I can expand more later. And then the second part is the engagement layer, how we can use the data that users provide us to build a custom experience for them, which is really customized to what are their preferences, and make them allow others to build on top of this data so they can have access to exclusive communities based on their achievements. Yesterday, we were talking about the fitness DAO example, which I think will be amazing. More and more going forward, I think people want to have a human interaction. They want to have human contact. They want to feel part of a community, feel part of a tribe. We don't know how AI is going to evolve, if it's going to be like Mad Max scenario or like a solar punk future where everybody's farming in their neighborhood and sharing vegetables to each other. But in any case, the need for human contact will always be there. So one example of what we can do is allow users to come with their user profile, with their Strava achievement, with their running, cycling, achievements, milestone that we reached. Now we can build a DAO that's where they can enter only if they fulfill certain criteria. They can stay in only if they keep running or keep cycling. You can have custom verification or tiers inside. If you are a proven personal trainer, so you have more permission, so you have a verified badge inside the application, and then this is just a baseline for you to build on top, and you don't need to focus on the data acquisition because we can help you with that. You don't have to focus on the reward mechanism because we can help you having on-chain rewards like NFT or payments, or off-chain rewards where you have access to real world items or access to exclusive events that happen near you, and you can just focus on building what is the DAO, the community that you want to build.
No, this is awesome, and I think we are getting back to like the fundamentals of building the business. Like, you are building the business not for the tech, but for the product which can help people solve some problem, or a service that is like solving some issue or improving some level of living or working or whatever that is. I agree with you, like the original use case of blockchain, which was only very financial. Like, it was not really building the real company. It was just like building new financial markets, which then turn into more like a gambling scenarios. And like, that's not something what it bring in value. Maybe it will bring joy to couple, but it will probably make sad more. And yeah, we discussed yesterday, one of the DAOs we are incubating as part of How to DAO, it's Workout DAO. We are a DAO because we want to be like a community driven. We want to use the crypto at the back end because we feel there can still be some value of building this like new business model using sovereign financial system. However, like for our general users, like they are not crypto savvy. Like, they might not know what is like crypto wallet, but they might want to engage with the community. Like, we mentioned running, so running clubs, like how we can make running clubs even more fun. Like, how the running clubs can be maybe co-owned by the users, and like they actually like decide what the running club will be doing, if they should be rescheduling or what kind of the case is. And like, it's great that like Sophon is kind of supporting this type of application, because I believe like if we want to make adoption of crypto, we really need to get more than 20,000 users. You said basically it's right now there. So from the application perspective, like Workout DAO is one example, but like, what do you see like being really good value for users to build on Sophon, like in a sense, like what the blockchain can bring for the kind of Web2 type of application? And we can use the fitness example. Like, what's the benefit maybe integrating like Strava type of information through Sophon and like that?
Yeah, I would say, if let's say you have your own fitness app, or you want to build like a fitness community, first maybe you want to vampire attack existing user bases. So this is where you can have users get for you the Strava data, or from like any other fitness application. Now you can have the users get it for you, and now you start building a profile that you can start by rewarding the user for giving this data, but then now you have this as verifiable data that you can use, as I mentioned, for like having a tier system or different rewards, or as social oracle that, okay, you know what you're talking about. Like, you're not just chatting, but you are pumping like 200 kilos on a bench press. So you're the real deal, and you don't need to build your own reputation because you're bringing it already on the table from the beginning. I would say you ideally, as an application, you don't need to think about Web3 or because ideally you will have already successful Web2 idea or already a running business, but we can just empower it more with crypto applications. So users are already logging with their email or social login, but now they are also creating a wallet behind the scenes. Maybe your users are already collecting achievements and trophies, but now these are NFTs and these are assets that are connected to your wallet that you can trade with others permissionlessly or on your own. So you have a payment system, but this can still be a credit card payment that does not need you to onboard, like to on-ramp USDC and then have to do transaction. This can all be abstracted behind the scene where you're paying with a credit card, you get a digital good. If you are getting USDC or any token, you can easily off-ramp it. So now you're using the chain part only where it makes sense, which is you have assets that you really own. Is not just in a database and you can use them as you wish. You have an interoperability aspect where other application can build on top of it. So maybe you have a game that wants you to touch grass, so they give you a reward if you actually provide the Strava data from the other applications. So you can now you have your identity, and this is shared with all the other protocols building on Sophon. So you have a economy of scale going up. Other builders don't need you then to provide your data again because it's already proven and part of our data hub that we are building. So you have I mentioned the ownership part, and then the payment part can be facilitated, so you don't need to worry about receiving assets or sending assets from any country in the world. This is also where Stripe is making enormous strides in abstracting the experience for users. And then, of course, if the user is crypto savvy, they can create their own application of their use case. They can create their own route, like their own secondary market, let's say, but you still get the full experience and the full power of it as a user.
No, that's super cool, and I agree. You should not use crypto for sake of using crypto, but you should use it where it makes sense. And just to recap on that, we can verify the information. Basically, there is information coming in from sources you already have, like Strava, Garmin, and stuff. And then we can verify it, and you are creating your on-chain identity based on the data you already have. And then, when you want to do some financial transaction, maybe you want to buy assets, sell assets, which will help. Maybe you want to buy some club assets to support the running club, or you want to sell some trophy you got because you feel like you don't need it and you want just to basically get some money for it. Then you can use the crypto rails, because that buy and sell within the system will work on the crypto rails, so you don't need to pay fees to Stripe or someone else. However, to get into the system, you don't need to be over sophisticated. It will be just a credit card payment, and it will be just sending to bank account. And that makes sense to me. You mentioned also the economy of scale. So maybe for generally for builders, how that support kind of works, how we might introduce Workout DAO to Sophon, but there are other builders out there building 2.5 apps, or they have Web2 apps and they are considering launching it on chain. How the builder kind of program, or why they should start thinking about building on Sophon?
So first of all, we have Sophon Campus, which is a grant program that we're launching to help builders come to our chain. Of course, get co-marketing support, dev support, anything they need to get to the next stage. What I see is that a lot of builders are trying to solve the same problems. So you have users that needs to log in with a social login. You want to collect data maybe from other third parties with web proofs. You want to build a database. You want to build rewards. You want to have tasks or quests to incentivize your users. You want to have pipelines so you can reward with on-chain rewards, NFT payments, or off-chain rewards, like maybe you can get a cool art or anything that feels tangible. And this is all things that we are abstracting in because everybody wants it anyhow, and we can just centralize it and make it as easy as possible. So for you, it's maybe just an API call that then is processed by our backend, and to have an on-chain element or off-chain element. So in many cases, I think users or builders will not even need to have a blockchain engineer that is building the smart contract side, because it's already done by us. We have a great partner that we are onboarding now, for example, that is doing reward for people that post stories about brands on Instagram. And interestingly enough, the best ROI is it on private in private channels, because then it's, even if it has less outreach, it has more impact. Like it's you recommending something to your friends. So until now, we needed to have 20 people that were manually checking all the stories. And first of all, with ZKTLS, we can help them having an automated flow. So this is automatically checked. But now everything they were doing, which is rewarding these influencers and keeping them engaged and driving users to, or like brand deals to this, is abstracted away. We can just focus on the consumer or like business acquisition and just expand their business. And we have already the reward, like engagement pipeline for their users. And then it's super interesting to build on top. Could be a influencer like Instagram poster club or DAO, where they are like communicating on how to best grow their Instagram account, helping each other. We can introduce them to other partners that needs outreach on Instagram or other socials. So now they get also not just more users that are trying or like getting on board in their program, but also more clients that need the advertisement. I think maybe the future for the business or for the different partners building on Sophon is more of a microservice setup, where you need to focus only on what you make best, on what you excel at, and the rest you can just abstract away or delegate to others.
That's super cool. So what I feel is like you are providing way more support in a sense than other chains. The other chains are more like, this is our blockchain, this is the technical documentation, good luck. But you are more like, hey, we are building these features, you can just integrate them, and they are like ready to go. And as you said, you don't even need to have blockchain engineer. So if you have like a Web2 company, you are thinking building something with crypto, you might use Sophon, and you don't even need to understand kind of like the code part there. So I vibe code a lot. Basically, how I'm understanding it right now, it's like, it's kind of like a vibe coding on blockchain, because like I do have all the services which are kind of integrating together like blocks. I don't need to code per se. I just need to like plug in different things. Do I understand it kind of correctly?
I feel like, or you could talk about it about more like Lego, so like you just, or like the MCP servers everybody's talking about for vibe coding, where you just add the functionality to your code app. Like, what is actually a very good example, because we could give you like a MCP server that just connects to your vibe coded app. So you're just building the front end, or you're part of the business, and then you say, I need to get data about the user from other parts. You need to have now give rewards. I need to create a club, and I need to give an NFT out. This could be all things that we are managing for you, and you're just hooking into your application.
Yeah, no, that's exactly like I think the future is actually like why we should build the same thing like everyone. We can have just the one thing which works, which is basically a commodity at that point, like open source, and like then we just build a business logic on top of it. So that's awesome, because even basically less technical people now can build apps because they have a good idea and a good business model. You also mentioned the grants program, which, you know, people also need that for building their venture. Like, how builders can apply to that, and what are maybe the criteria or type of businesses you are looking to support?
It's very case by case. I think in general, we are looking for apps that can engage users and having them come back, like just building something interesting. It can be something that's just fun and users like, and I doesn't have to be technically complex, but just anything that connects to your digital identity and to the data that you are bringing, and something that makes it's interesting for you as a user and as a human to try. This is something that we are very interested in. And then again, we're very happy to abstract away the things that are not fun for you, and we can just take care of it. But especially for applications that are user focused, it's super interesting.
It's awesome. And also, like, if I understand your roadmap, you are like before TGE, now like the transactions are kind of free, and like you are getting very early on like chain, which might grow large. So like now it's the time probably to start building to get like the prominent space in your ecosystem.
We launched mainnet in December, and we announced TG for this month.
Okay.
And until now, we were sponsoring all transaction costs on our chain. And even after TG, we will strongly encourage all our partners to use paymasters so that users don't need to know or even have gas on their account to just abstract from them. We can just do the things they need. And I forgot what was the other question on.
I'm not sure if there was another question, but like
of the growing
like prominent, yeah.
Yes, and definitely now we are getting a lot of attention on our chain through Kaito, and like if you look at the Twitter mindshare, so there's definitely a lot of interest on people that hear about Sophon and then they want to try things on Sophon. So I would love to have more things I can present to our users that come and want to check things out. Something I can mention also, it's very important as an ecosystem to have your own home page where you can present activity for users and even like a customized view based on what is their interest. You don't want to show them NFT, they don't care about NFT, but you want to give a personalized experience. You want to show them tasks or quests about things that they should try out on our app. So let's say in the fitness DAO, you have things that you want people to do, and or like a onboarding program, and this can all be tasks that we help you create and to onboard users. And then we could be personalized special tasks that is just for each user based on the story they or like being the identity that we bring on chain.
Well, I love it. So we will definitely, as a Workout DAO, consider coming onto Sophon. And if you are building some new application which can engage users, they don't need to know about the crypto on the back end, but they want to have fun. There is a new business model. Like, you should definitely talk to Joe. How they can reach you?
So I'm on Twitter I think it's Xerox Lutro, and I'm on Telegram as @Joppon with 2P. But maybe we can put a link somewhere so people will like the roads are clear.
We will put it in the show notes so people can reach you and people can like check more about what you are building. You know how the TG goes, what other companies are actually building on the chain. So this was super exciting. I'm hoping that not just us as a Workout DAO, but other builders also start building on Sophon and like we onboard the next billion users into crypto without them knowing that they are on crypto.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Thank you for the conversation, Joe.
Thank you.